Welcome to Axiom Answers. My name is Dr. Eric Shoemake, and I want to talk about the core supplements today. I was recently doing a couple of supplement consultations and just saw that a lot of people just have bags and bags and bottles of supplements, and they're spending a lot of money they shouldn't, and they're not getting the things that they should. They're overlapping a lot, and they have supplements that someone told them to take 5 years ago. They don't know why. So what I want to do is clear up some things today and give you the three supplements that I recommend everybody on planet Earth should be taking to cover all of your bases and get the biggest bang for your buck. So the first thing to understand about supplements is they should be a supplement to a healthy diet. They should not be the only way you get nutrition. So I used to when I did a workshop, I used to put a bunch of stuff in a bowl. I would put cereal and milk duds and potato chips and all types of things in a bowl and then throw one carrot in there and say, was that healthy? And everybody would laugh. But that's what we're doing if we're just we're eating a terrible diet and then all of a sudden adding a multivitamin or something like that. You have to be eating a good diet. But then if you are doing that, there are still some things that you need supplement wise. They're going to protect you from disease, increase the function of your entire body, give you more energy and really cover the bases that you need to cover. So as we get into those today, your supplement pantry shouldn't look like this. And I see this happen a lot. I ask people like, why are you taking this one? Well, my aunt told me to take that. Why are you taking this one? Oh, the person at, the health food store told me to take it. Why do you take this one? That was on an infomercial one night. And they don't know why they're taking everything. And the thing is, all supplements can be good, but do you need them all? We don't want this supplement overkill that I see from a lot of people. So here's the ones that you need to cover your bases. And then if there's anything else you need to address, any other, disease processes or any other type of symptoms you need to address, then we can do that with some other supplements. But here's the ones that are going to give you the best bang for your buck. Number one, vitamin D3. And before you roll your eyes and say, I'm already doing that, vitamin D is the most important one that I would recommend. If you have $1 to spend on supplements, the dollar I would spend would be on vitamin D. Now, here's what's important. Most people say they take vitamin D, but very few people actually know what their vitamin D level is. So I'm going to show you what that should be and make sure you're getting enough vitamin D. But there's also another thing that you need to take with vitamin D to make sure you're getting it. So if you're just taking vitamin D from, natural grocers or from King Supers or something like that, you're not getting what you need 9 times out of 10. So here's why vitamin D is so important. So this is a great study from the Journal of Epidemiology in 2009. And this is mind-boggling if you really understand this. So it says it's projected that raising the minimum year-round serum vitamin D level to 60 nanograms per mole. So I'll talk about your vitamin D levels more in a minute, but that number 60 to 80 is a good place to be. If everyone had adequate levels of vitamin D, which is what I'm talking about, or healthy levels of vitamin D, it would prevent 58,000 cases of breast cancer every year, 49,000 cases of colon cancer, and 3/4 of the deaths from those diseases. We could wipe out 3/4 of the deaths from breast cancer and colon cancer just by adequate levels of vitamin D. Why are you not hearing about that? Why are you hearing about the race for the cure and pink ribbons and all of that stuff? Because when you give money to the Susan G. Komen Foundation, a lot of that money goes to drug research, and you're funding things like Eli Lilly. Eli Lilly makes another drug called RGBH that causes breast cancer, and then they get your money to develop drugs that treat breast cancer. Is that not insane? So, and I have nothing against, pink ribbons for supporting people with breast cancer. I love that. But why don't we prevent it in the first place? One way to do that is through vitamin D and vitamin D3. Okay. So here's what's important about vitamin D is you have to have adequate levels in order for this to work. So vitamin D also needs to be taken with something called vitamin K2, because vitamin D can go in a couple different places. It can allow calcium to go. Vitamin D basically manages calcium in your body. It can cause calcium to go into the arteries, or it can cause where you don't want it, or it can cause calcium to go into your bones where you do want it. Well, what decides that is vitamin K2. So you need to be taking a supplement that is vitamin D3 with K2. They need to go together because that makes sure the vitamin D gets absorbed and everything goes where it's supposed to go. So here's what's important, and this is really cool when you look at what vitamin D does for your body. Here is a list of the things that it prevents. Now, here's the problem with vitamin D. Most people take like the RDA of vitamin D, vitamin D3 is 400 international units, which is enough to prevent rickets. So you see down here in this blue one down here, that if you just take 400 IUs of vitamin D, you will prevent rickets. Nobody has rickets anymore. We're not pirates. There's not rickets and scurvy running wild in the United States. What people have is these other things like breast cancer, ovarian cancer, colon cancer, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, type 1 diabetes, fractures, multiple sclerosis, falls. Yes, vitamin D actually prevents falls. There's got a lot of research showing that if you have adequate levels of vitamin D, you prevent falls in the elderly. Kidney cancer, endometrial cancer, all of these things are prevented by vitamin D if you have the right levels of vitamin D. Okay. So in order for to get protection against against all of these diseases, your vitamin D level needs to be at least in this like 40 range here and should really be above that, more in this 60 to 80 range over here. So you want your vitamin D levels to be higher. Now, when you go to the doctor and you get a vitamin D test, their normal vitamin D is between 30 and 100, which is crazy. That's way too high of a range. So if you're at 32, 33, 34, right? So if you're down here at 32, right here, 32, 34, 36, you're barely protected against breast cancer. So if you're 34, you got a 30% reduction in breast cancer risk. But if you get it up to 50, your breast cancer risk reduction is 83%, guys. 83% if you just get your vitamin D level up where it's supposed to be. Same thing with type 1 diabetes, same thing with multiple sclerosis, reduces your risk of MS by 33% if you're at 42, but if you're up in the 60 range, it's 54%. And all of the diseases are like that. So the higher your level of vitamin D, the better you're going to be. But so you want your number to be between 60 and 80. Now, the best way to do that is get tested. You can get tested at the doctor. You can get a test through Everlywell. You can just Google home vitamin D test. It's 30 or 40 bucks. You prick your finger, bleed on a card, send it in, and they'll tell you what your vitamin D levels are. So I recommend everybody get a vitamin D test. Now, if you're wondering where to start with vitamin D, 5,000 IUs per day is the minimum that I recommend for most people. A lot of people have to take more than that. I have to take 10 to 15,000 IUs to get my vitamin D level to 60. Now, my wife only has to take 5,000 IUs. Everyone is different. No one's the same. So you want to make sure you're getting tested to find out how much you need. But a great place to start would be 5,000 IUs of vitamin D, and you want to do that with vitamin K. So the one that I always recommend for people is going to be this one, which is Vitamin D Supreme through Designs for Health. That's the ones that we have in the office. That's the one that we have in the e-store. This gets you the best bang for your buck because you're getting 5,000 IUs of vitamin D with vitamin K. So that's the one that I recommend. Okay, so that's the one I would start taking if you're not doing anything else, vitamin D. Now, the next one I want to talk about is all about inflammation. So how do we get rid of inflammation in your body? As you know, almost every disease is caused by inflammation in your body. So we call these essential fatty acids. Okay, so essential fatty acids reduce inflammation. So what are they good for? Fibromyalgia. People with fibromyalgia, their blood it coagulates too quickly. It's too thick to deliver nutrients to the body. And essential fatty acids are a natural blood thinner. So you see people taking a baby aspirin every day, which I don't recommend. If you take fish oil or essential fatty acids, those are also a natural blood thinner. It keeps your blood thin so it can deliver nutrients. Bipolar and depression. This is a study from Archive of General Psychiatric Journal. Essential fatty acids block the abnormal signaling in the brain, which is present in depression and mania. EFAs also boost serotonin levels in the brain. When it boosts serotonin, you're more happy. So very effective against bipolar and depression. Alzheimer's. This was BMJ, British Medical Journal. Weekly consumption of fish significantly reduce the risk of dementia and Alzheimer's disease. They protect the vascular system and reduce brain inflammation. Most people are not getting nearly enough fish. The other problem with fish is so much of it's contaminated with mercury now, or it's farm raised. So what I recommend is a high quality essential fatty acid supplement. And the one that I recommend is this one over here called Omega Vale Hypo. So this one right here. So I'm going to go through why this is important and why it's better than the Kirkland version over here. So people think, well, I'm getting fish oil. Now, thing to understand about supplements, you get what you pay for. If you go buy junky supplements, so let's say this fish oil on the left is $20, okay? And this fish oil on the right is $30. If you take the fish oil on the left, you're wasting $20. So it's not like you got away with something by saving 10 bucks. You're just wasting 20 bucks because you're not getting what you need, as you'll see in a second, versus the $30 you're actually investing in your health and preventing Alzheimer's disease, which is hugely, hugely important, preventing heart disease, preventing all of these other things. So when you go and you get something like this omega fish oil here, so see how it says 1,000 milligrams, right? So that's important. And then you look over here, it says 1,600 milligrams. You're like, well, this one's close, but it's really not because when you read the back, here's what's actually in there: a bunch of things that you can't pronounce, like stearic acid, which is really bad for you, methylcrylic acid. Like all of this stuff is to keep it from turning rancid, basically, because it's junky fish oil. But then how many milligrams of omega-3s are in there? It's only 300 milligrams of actual omega-3 essential fatty acids, which is what I just showed you on the slide before. That's what is good for you is the essential fatty acids, these omega-3s. They're the two specific ones are EPA and DHA. You're only getting 300 milligrams of that. The other is just junky fish oil that's not doing anything for you. So the omega avail over here, you're going to look at the same thing. Omega-3 fatty acids. How much are you seeing? 800 milligrams of EPA, 800 milligrams of DHA, 1,600 milligrams. So you're getting 5 times as much of the stuff that you need when you're doing the omega avail hypo, which is the high potency. The other thing I really like about this is it's got a lemon flavor and it also has lipase, so you don't get like fish burps when you do this. So this is 2 capsules a day. That's something I recommend for every person on planet Earth because of what it does for your brain, what it does for your heart, what it does for reducing inflammation in your body overall. So a lot of people with like joint pain feel so much better when they start doing fish oil because their inflammation levels go down. But it's even more important for what it does for your heart and for your brain. Okay. And then one more I want to tell you about. This has to do with your daily fruit and vegetable intake. So, when I ask people how many fruits and vegetables should you be getting on a daily basis, a lot of times I get this answer down here, which is 5. 5 is such a low bar. You should get more between 11 and 15. So every day you wake up, this is the amount of over here on this side. That's the amount of fruits and vegetables you should be getting. Most people are not even getting the amount on the left, which is 5. Most people don't even get 5 servings of fruits and vegetables, which is scary to think about. And that's like I think it's only 1 or 2 in 5 people get 5 servings of fruits and vegetables, and that's counting ketchup and French fries. That's how low a bar we set in the United States. We call it the standard American diet. That's why so many people are sick. That's why so many people are diseased in our country. We're digging our own grave with a knife and fork because we're not getting the things that we need. Your body needs fruits and vegetables because this is how you're going to get all the nutrients, all the enzymes. It's good for your colon. It's good for everything. This is what we were designed to eat, and we don't eat nearly enough of it. So if you look at like the amount of fruits and vegetables that I get, like it's very hard to get 15 servings of fruits and vegetables over here. You would be eating fruits and vegetables all day. So instead of there is a hack around that if you're not getting fruits and vegetables or not getting enough. I probably don't get 15. I don't even get 11. I'll probably get between 5 and 11 on a normal day. I still try to eat as much as I can because that's where you're getting your fiber. But I have a hack, and my hack is going to be making sure I'm doing a good greens powder. Okay. So what I do in my office or in my house is called Greens First. This is the one that we have in the office. They also have one that's reds. It's more like fruits. What I really like is the greens powder, the greens first, because if you look down here, it has 15 servings of fruits and vegetables. So you're getting the antioxidant power of 15 servings of fruits and vegetables. So you're covering your bases. So I start my day every single day with a scoop of this in water. I drink that instead of coffee. And look at what I'm actually getting. I'm getting this greens blend right here, which is really good at alkalizing your body, increasing your pH. Disease can't live in a pH-rich environment, in a high pH environment, alkaline environment, and that's what this does for you. You're getting you're getting this fiber as well, which is really cool. So beta glucan and apple pectin fiber, really good for weight loss, really good for digestion. You're getting this enzyme blend up here at the top with bromelain and protease and amylase. These are digestive enzymes that help your body break down food that you are going to be eating the rest of the day. It's got probiotics. And then you have these anti-inflammatory called Resveratrol down here. So you're getting all of these things that are anti-inflammatory, like quercetin. You're getting green tea extract. You're getting turmeric down here. You're getting goji berry, acai berry. All of these things are in there, and they're all really good for your gut and for reducing inflammation. So if you do one scoop of this in a day, and the thing I like about this is it actually tastes good. So greens powders a lot of times taste like pond scum or something like that. It's just they taste terrible. This actually tastes good because this was mint flavored. So I really like this as well. So those are the three that I recommend for everybody. So the first place you would start is the vitamin D3 with K2. Again, we want your levels to be between 60 and 80. That's your ideal level. So that's number one. Second would be making sure you're getting at least 1,500 milligrams of good omega 3s. So that's the omega Vale Hypo from Designs for Health. And then this greens first is the other one. So if you're covering your bases with those, then there are some other things that you look at. Like I do one called magnesium glycinate, which I take right now. I've done some adrenal supplements in the back or in the past or some other things. So if you have questions on any of those other things that you want to start doing, that's great. But let's start with these because if you do these, that's how you end up on the cruise ship. That's our mission for you is you end up on the cruise ship, not in the nursing home. Well, one great way to do that is start with those three core supplements.